So that's basically what happens to Adam. And the comics go a little bit into that, like he has memories. Well, he'll remember uh, when he was being augmented. He'll remember uh, moments with like Meg and how she had died. Some of the characters that come out are, Adam Jensen, David Seraph, which is his boss, the guy that owns Seraph Industry. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I think it's maybe Farida. Farida. It's a weird name. I don't know. Malik, and she's I think she's gonna be in the game. She's a helicopter pilot, and she's this like pretty cool lady that works for Seraph also. And then there's Francis Pritchard. Pritchard is in the game. I saw him in the preview at the beginning of the game. And it was pretty cool to see him. I was like, hey, he was in the comics. He's like the tech specialist. He's your guy that's like talking to you, and I think he's gonna be the one talking to you in your like little earpiece, like telling you where to go and all that. Like there's these dudes over there or whatever. He's the one that tells you, he's the hacker that will see everything, like maps it all out and all that. That's Pritchard, and he's got this big ponytail. His hair's pulled back, and he's got a ponytail. So when you see him in the game, you'll know that's him. And then there's Lady Catherine Sutherland. She's one of the characters that I'm not sure if she's going to be mentioned in the game. If she is, that's when you'll find out when the comics actually take place compared to the video game. If she makes an appearance in the game, that means that the comics are probably after the game. But yeah, Lady Catherine Sutherland is also an augmented person. She doesn't work for Seraph. She's actually from England. She's kind of like an augmented police for augmented people. Like she investigates people that are augmented that went bad. And then Quincy Durant, I think his last name is pronounced. He was the commander of the SWAT unit back when Adam was in the SWAT team. He was a good friend of Adam's, and he had this horrible accident. He lost his arms and all this stuff. So they basically augmented him and turned him. He was like mostly machine. So it kind of like messed with his head, and he turned bad. He was like, humans are weak, and now he's like, augmented people are the ones that are strong, and we're the ones that should, your typical thing. So Adam has to fight his old friend in the comics. That's what it's about. This guy comes back, and Adam has to basically stop him because he's killing everybody. Quincy is actually, he mentions a group called Deus Ex, and I think this is probably what the other Deus Ex games were probably about, this group. So that's why the prequel, this Human Revolution, I think it's the beginning of like what Deus Ex was and what, who they are. It's a group of augmented people that think they're better than humans. Like since they're more powerful, they feel like they have to get rid of humans. And as much as Seraph Industries does augment their people, they're not bad. They're not like augmenting people to make them into like these crazy assassins. The people that are augmented and they go bad, like Quincy, that's just because they chose to do it. But there are different factions. There's Seraph Industries that actually make the augmentation, so there's a lot of like diversity there, and a lot of hate, and especially from humans, but also from the Deus Ex side, because they're like, we're the ones that are superior and should be the ones that are ruling, I guess. The human side, they're called Purity First, and they're also fighting against Seraph, because they're like, don't do this to people, this is wrong. If someone loses a limb, whatever, leave them. Don't like augment them with this crazy arm that does who knows how much, and it changes people's humanity, turns them into like robots. So that's what the comic is about, the fight. I think the beginning of the fight with Deus Ex. This is when Adam Jensen actually finds out about this faction called Deus Ex, and they say Deus Ex Machina, and what that means is it means God in the machine, or God from the machine. That's why it's all called Deus Ex, human revolution, fight with the people that are augmented and people that are normal, and do people actually lose their humanity when they're augmented, or what? It's that whole revolution. It would be interesting to see Adam, the way that he was left in the comics. There's a line on here that really explains what he's feeling. Is he's talking to Malik, the girl that drives the helicopters. He says, "Remember the flight back from Mexico, Malik? You told me I was a man, not a machine." And she says, "You still are, Adam." And he says, "Yeah, maybe it'd be easier if I wasn't." So he's kind of like, that's it, I can't do this anymore. He's kind of broken up at the end of the comics, and so I don't know how they're going to do it. In the game, it's probably, I don't know. And I don't know if Quincy's even going to be in it. Maybe. He might be a character. So the comics, they're not like amazing comics. The story isn't like, oh my god, this comic book is so awesome, you have to read it. It's not like that. It's just, they're interesting because for someone that hasn't played the games, it really it's informative to understand the world, to understand what to expect from Human Revolution, the game. So it kind of like prepares you. If you want to read it, if you guys are like me, that you haven't played the games, I would say, if you could get them, go ahead and get them, because they're pretty good. They're pretty good to prepare you for the game, and pretty good, because I was like, I'm gonna go into the game not knowing anything. Like, I'm not gonna know anything, and I'm just gonna be like, what? But the comics really prepare you well for the game. So if you want to do that, go for it. If not, you're not gonna be like, it's not like you're gonna miss out. I don't think they're going to go into this storyline, at least that's what I've read, that the comics have nothing to do with the storyline in the game. But it would be interesting if they did incorporate some aspects of the comic in the game, like characters and stuff like that. I think it would just add to Adam's personality. So that's basically the Deus Ex Human Revolution's comics. They're a fast read, very gory, like nasty. Some parts are pretty gross. So if you don't really like gory stuff, don't really read these comics, because some parts are pretty nasty. Like this one part, Quincy punches this guy, and his hand like goes through his head, and his eye is like flying out, and it's not like, oh my god, I'm disturbed and like scarred for life, I'm gonna sue them. It's not like that. It's kind of gross. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this first Dedication Tuesday to Deus Ex. Next Tuesday, there's going to be another one. I'm pretty sure I have a topic for next week. I have a bunch of topics, but I really want to do this one idea that I have for next week. Hopefully it works out. Look forward to Deus Ex Dedication Tuesday next Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys later.